You. So thank you everyone for joining. So we have Afaq Ahmed. He has more than 20 plus years in project management, and I requested him to come and share. As we all know, in the data and space, in any project that we do, we have to have this project management skills, and this is a skill that everyone should have. And I requested Afaq Ahmed to come and share his experience. He's also PMP certified, and he has spent a lot of years in this area, and also he has trained a lot of resources, and he has a lot of good expertise in this. I thank you personally, Afaq Ahmed, for coming and joining and sharing your vast knowledge with our community. And over to you.
Thank you, Arshad, for that warm introduction. And yeah, hi everyone. And yeah, so as Arshad was saying, uh, yeah, so again, I've been a brief introduction about myself. I've been with the IT industry since a very long time, almost 25 years of experience. Started way back somewhere in 1998, and I've got a very eventual ride. I have been associated with different clients playing different kind of roles. Have been involved with project management consultants. Have worked as delivery managers, coach, RT. I mean all the flavors, even as a product owner. So and and I've been associated with the many companies, some of which are like Microsoft, which I've worked for around 5 to 6 years. I worked in HP, JE, Johnson and Johnson, Merck. So these are some of the companies I've been associated with. So yeah, so these are the clients that I worked for, and I've worked with Wipro, HCL. So in Wipro, I was associated for 4 years. In HCL, I was working for around 7 years, and other companies as well. So, and I've been like I'm this PMP certified. I got my PMP certification in 2012, and CSM certification and a few other certifications as well. So I have been mentoring project managers or budding project managers uh, for some time. I mean, this is like sometimes it is a requirement within the company itself that you are have to mentor project managers or budding project managers so that they can come up and take these tasks. So yeah, mostly I have trained in such a scenario, particularly when I was working in Birlasoft. We had a kind of PM academy in which we were working with the PM academy for almost more than a year, and we have trained more than 100 people, and around 100 people we help them achieve the PMP certification. So yeah, it's just a brief introduction about my uh, this. So one second. Yeah. So again, yeah, so we'll start. This is the agenda. So what we'll do is we will just go basic and fundamentals, and then we'll move to why do projects fails. Then we'll go through project life cycles. Then maybe we will go through risk management. There are a lot of slides that I have, and so most of the slides I have made a kind of very small. I mean, I've removed most of the slides as it was becoming very comprehensive, and since we have only 1 hour. So yeah, so I will not go through the this so all these things, it is very relevant. So basically, yeah, if you see any project that we have to work on, this is basically what a project is, right? So it is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create unique product, service, or result. So the reason why we take up a project is that we want to achieve something. Like we want to create a product. That is one of the main reasons. But there are other reasons as well. We want to provide a service to our clients or customer, or we want to create a result. So it's again, by the nature of project itself, it is a temporary endeavor. I mean, it has a start date and an end date. And then uh, what is then so so now what is project management? So again, project management, it is just the application of knowledge, skills and tools and techniques on this project activity. So whatever your project activities are, so you have to manage those project activities, and you need skills for that, and you need knowledge also, you need expertise also, you need to know different tools and techniques also. And your skills are extremely important, especially skills like you know um, skills like people handling skills, or skills like leadership role, motivation roles, how to keep your team up and running and fired, so that they can deliver in time. Other skills and knowledge like risk, what is the risk, what is the anticipated risks. So all things are extremely important. I mean, it is a very important skill, like that is required, because you have to it is a kind of leadership role in which you have to motivate people, look up and motivate and ensuring that the team is doing its job. So one of the most another very important and critical skill is execution. That you need to ensure that every day you are at the top of your game. I mean, you are heading towards that driven goal, whatever your objectives are. I mean, whatever vehicle of execution that you have, it is daily making progress and making you go or ahead, reach those goals. So it's a very short definition, and these are the most important process groups. So no matter like whatever life cycle that you are going through. So this is from the PMBOK screenshot. You will have to, whether it is predictive, or whether it is hybrid, or whether it is iterative or incremental. These levels will always be there. Sometimes these levels will get repeated again and again depending upon your model. But whatever project that you work on, you will have these processes in place, whether it is initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and closing. And the maximum time what a project manager or the project team they they spend their time they spend in planning, replanning, executing, and monitoring. So these three are the most important phases. And these are, like when you're starting and when you're closing. And but these three phases are the phases in which a project manager and his team will, face the maximum time. And as you can see, all these, are intersecting each other. That means planning will keep on going, like even if you go towards the end of the project, there will always be planning and replanning. Like change requests will keep coming, and again you will have to plan your work. Again you have to think of scheduling, again you have to think of monitoring. So you have to do this like incrementally. So I mean, and throughout the project. So it's not that in the starting itself you make up a project plan and you just monitor that. That will not work. I mean, it is a very dynamic endeavor, and you have to be always prepared. Every day can bring new changes. So it's a very even your project plan, it is a very live document. Like whenever you make a project plan, it will keep changing with time. So this dynamic your tendency to adapt in this dynamic situation is also extremely important. So another thing that I can come up with, why do why do we wh- I mean, why do projects get created? Why do we have to work on projects. And the natures are, there are several reasons. One is your market demand. I mean, your market is changing, your market landscape is changing, new things are coming, new technological changes are, coming in. So your market keeps on changing, and as a result of that, you have to take advantage of that. And the other reasons are again your strategic business objectives. You have a strategic, business need, and you have to align towards that strategy. It could be like, if I say strategy, your strategy could be that, maybe in the next 3 years you want to become a leader in this particular domain. You Okay, suppose you are into pharma or healthcare, and there is a segment called PBM, which is, pharmacy beneficiary management, and you want to be a leader in that market. Currently, you have a position, but you want to be at the top player. So what is your strategy? What is your this? So you will lay out your strategy, and that strategy will again translate into, maybe different portfolios or programs, or projects, and this will give rise to different projects, because uh, you have to, earn the you have to this uh, reach that, vision, or that goal that you are actually planning for. Other reasons are environmental considerations. It could be, because of some government regulations that projects are coming. There could be, I mean, a custom request can also come, or a client request can also come. So you address that, project in the form of a service in which you're giving to the customer. So these are some of the reasons. Yeah. Yeah, so if there are any questions, you guys can, feel free to ask. I can always entertain a few questions here and there, so that should not be a problem.
Yeah, you can use the chat to put your questions. I have right now put mute because there were some disturbances coming. Use the chat now. Put your questions. We can take the questions. Afaq Ahmed can take the questions as there,
Okay.
or else we can club it together because some of the questions may be similar lines. So
Mm.
I request people,
Yeah.
participants, to use the chat for any of their questions, and we will pick it up as we proceed. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Now, like as project managers or as team members within an organization. Okay, for if we want to be successful, managers, or or uh, successful project team, or like whatever roles that we are playing. Okay, so what is very important is that, you need to understand the organization, and and what the organization, compromises of. Every organization has its own culture. So the quicker you are able to understand the culture of the organization, I mean, the better and the more successful you will be. Like I've seen over my years, I mean, there are a lot of people like who are very dynamic, very, they have a high caliber, extreme amount of talent and good attitude also. But the reason is that, they are not able to understand what is the organization culture, what is the nature of the organization. Okay, so and that is also very important. I mean, these are some of the top reasons why I see, people getting frustrated, or people that are not growing in the organization. Okay, so these are, so so this is a, it's not only for, so these are some of the things that are very important, like especially for anyone who wants to, have a leading role in the organization, or wants to, understand, or wants to, get noticed, or they need to, imbibe what these four different, things, and these are extremely critical. So they should be, they should understand what is the mission, what is the purpose of this organization, why was this organization created, and what it is its mission. And they need to and what the core values are. So basically, the first two will talk about the culture. So if you're able to understand, it's just not a bunch of words that you just read and try to understand. You need to relate yourself to these two words, to these expressions and these statements, and they are. Uh, and so so yeah, so once you have understood the core culture, I mean, or and the culture of the organization, and so chances are, very high that you will be able to, live or you will be able to imbibe in that culture. Okay, sometimes when you're getting, hired or you're going to a new organization, like what I will, advise people mostly to, really understand what the culture of the organization is before you join. Okay, it could be that you have your own culture or your own values, and somewhere your values or principles are not aligning with the culture of the organization, and that is the reason why most of the people sometimes they do get frustrated. I mean, they were envisioning something else in the organization. So a lot of team members, senior people, even 10 people with 10 years of experience, 15 years of experience, I mean, they have very high caliber and talent, but somehow they do not get themselves, to be, they're not able to align with the organization culture. And hence, there's a kind of disengagement and a kind of disconnect that they feel. So these things are very important, for anyone to, have a long and a successful career in any company. And you should also understand what the vision of the company is and what is the strategy of this company. This should be clear for everyone, not only project managers, but also project leads or so so based on these things, right? Everything is driven. Like uh, what are the kind of programs that we're going to work on? What are the kind of portfolios that we'll have? What will be our strategy? What will be our vision? Okay, these are the principles that create those alignments. Okay, so these are some of the organization cultures and styles that that have. So you should understand what is the shared vision, what are the regulations, policies, motivations, what is the risk tolerance, what is the view of the leadership. So yeah, that way you will be able to align with the company, and you will be able to understand like how you are working in an organization, and you will feel yourself connected. So these are how it is related. Your mission, okay, is okay, it always lives forever, and a vision is somewhere between 10 to 25 years, and your vision leads to strategy. A strategy could be for around 3 to 5 years, and your and from your strategy you define what the targets are. You have a target of 1 year. That usually happens in any like any leadership meetings. You always get targets. I mean, it could be your vice presidents or your directors. They always have a target which they need to meet, and that target is just for maybe for 1 year or maybe for 2 days. And these targets, they translate to your quarterly goals. So your performance in whatever you're doing, it is always evaluated at least on a quarterly basis. How is the team doing? How is the company doing? How are the programs doing? So this is the way that and there are quarterly meetings, there are monthly meetings, and these strategies and targets is what leads to the creation of portfolios, programs, and different projects that we need to do in the industry. Okay, so now I'll go through some of the attributes that any this project manager should have. I mean, again, project management is a skill, and it is also a very important soft skill to have. And so you need to have first of all you need to have charisma, or so. So people need to, work with you. I mean, they need to get motivated to work with you. If you have a team of 15 to 20 people and you have to manage them like, if they're going to work for you for a month, then you need to ensure that they are motivated, they are passionate, they enjoy doing the work, and so this is something that, you need to think for. Yeah. So you should have definitely leadership skills. So whatever your vision is, whatever your team is, so you need to have the capability or the ability to drive that leadership goal. I mean, whatever your vision is, should be the team members' vision, and they should see that vision, and they should, see, and they should be, motivated enough to, go ahead for that goal or vision. Okay. So now you should have the ability to take decisions. So you need to, make very good and quick decisions in terms of, and that will always be, a challenge. Maybe you have to take day-to-day decisions, or, so taking decisions and in doing, how you have to proceed with the work. Risks will be coming. How do you, address those risks? How do you address those challenges? How do you address the issues? You have some certain, people performance issues. How do you address that? Okay, there might be some conflict resolutions that you have to do. I mean, what are the approaches that you're going to do? How will you keep your team motivated? How will you keep your team, this? How do you ensure that your team is, getting? How will you develop your team? Also, is your team developing? All these things are responsible for, as a project manager. So okay, so and you also need to, invest on the team, and you need to make sure there's always a continuous learning. There'll be a, continuous improvement, and you guys need to be, open to change. So these are some of the attributes that, one should have. I mean, and yeah, because over the years I've seen, like, in many areas that, the team is either demotivated, or the team is, struggling, or the team is not able to adapt or align with self with the team vision, uh, or a lot of people are completely disconnected. Okay, so these things keeps on happening, and so this is, these are the things that are extremely important. So yeah, so these are something, again, like, it's just like this. Yeah, so one of the things that, comes up mostly is that you should not use the like your authority as a kind of your position to make decisions. Do not, try to impose your authority. Try to win the team so that they're happy to work with you. So just because if you are a senior manager or a project manager, or if you're a large team, and you're using your authority to, uh, run the show, I mean, that is a sign that, it could be a sign that, the team members, although they may work with you, but they may be a bit, demotivated. Okay. Now, in any project, there will be issues, there will be challenges, there will be things that, will go wrong. So, yeah, okay, one should always, keep in mind that you should never blame the team, or, uh, or that individual for any negative outcome. So this, gives a very serious, this kind of, it demotivates the team, and your team, and that is something that you definitely, would not, like to have. So as a project manager or a leader, you need to, you need to always, you know be empathic. So lack of empathy, and, inflexible, and used to the old ways of working, not taking feedback from the team, micromanaging the team members. So these are things that, you should really, avoid. So because this is something that, can really uh, kill the team. Okay, so this is one slide that I I prepared regarding project failure. So these are some of the statistics that shows that so this is again, these reports are this as of in 2020. So 17% of large IT projects, okay, are delivered badly. Okay, in such a way that they threaten the very existence of the company. Okay, so okay, it's not it's not a question of the IT projects failing, but there are certain 17% of large IT projects, they the fa- okay, they have a impact in such a way that they can threaten the very existence of the company. Okay, so that's the cost of if you are running a project, and that project gets you have a project of around 100 people and it gets screwed up, or it is not managed properly, or there are some failures, or you're not able to attain the objectives. I mean, it can really have very serious consequences for the company. So we are living in an era of digital transformation, where most of the projects that we are getting revolve around digital transformation, and it is still that estimated as to 70% of these digital transformation projects, they do not meet the customers' requirements or the customers' targets. And okay, so again, this is another report in which they say that the total cost of unsuccessful development projects in US is around 260 billion dollars. I mean, it's really so again, the statistics of project failures is still very high in the although that is in the especially in the IT industry, and most of the projects, they end up getting it gets up it ends up not meeting the customers objectives, and at the end of the day we lose business. So these are some of the most important, or these are the top reasons to why projects fail. Okay, so the number one reason that people have found is lack of project management expertise. Either project managers, they are not they have not done, or they don't have the wide expertise, and they are and they have been hired to lead a team of many people, and at the end of the day they're not able to deliver their objectives, and so this is the primary reason why projects are failing. And the some of the other reasons are uh, like uh, executive support. Support from the top level leadership is not there. Sometimes the business sponsor that you're working with, I mean, he does not take enough accountability. Okay, so sometimes the business sponsors, they do not engage with you that frequently, and that could be the reason uh, why your project is failing. Other reasons are your stakeholders are not getting involved with the project. But again, this comes, because of failure of project management expertise. Because as a project manager, you need to ensure that your stakeholders are involved and they are engaged. So if you see the reasons, the fourth and the fifth reason, it is all because of project management expertise. Because business sponsor engagement and stakeholder management and expectation space stakeholder expectation management is very important. Sometimes lack of leadership. It could be the lack of leadership from the project manager itself, or the project managers, managers like the directors. I mean, they don't have a vision. Sometimes they are not able to uh, inspire the team, or inspire the division or the department. Another reason could be by micromanagement from the project manager, or from the project manager's manager, or from the director, or from the vice president, whatever. Like if you're micromanaging, it's not a good sign. I mean, it is a sign that somewhere there's some disconnect, and that is the reason why it's going. Other reasons is that, disjointed handoffs, like whatever a sales team had promised to the customer, uh, okay, they did not communicate that clearly to the delivery team, or the delivery team did not go and ask the sales team as to what have you, promised. And most of the reasons, this is also, many times, the project fails or the customers gets, uh, customer is not satisfied because customer is expecting something else, the sales team promised something else, and the delivery team has delivered something else. So, and other reasons are inaccurate estimation. So as a project manager, you need to make sure that the estimations that are done by the, by your leads or by your architects are accurate. Okay. Okay, because most of the time, what I have seen is that, we are ahead of 50% of the project, 60% of the project is completed, and then we are, working on some component, and then we learn that this component, no way we're going to, complete it within the next couple of months. So this keeps on happening, very frequently, and so this is also something that we need to take care of. Other, reason is that maybe we have delivered, but once we have delivered, then we are not providing those post-production support or the hypercare support that the customer is expecting, and as a result of that, the customer is extremely dissatisfied. So these are some of the reasons why, IT projects they fail. So again, as I said, number one reason why project fails is lack of project management expertise. Most of the project managers are not qualified enough. Sometimes what happens is that there is cost cutting, and tech leads or senior developers or maybe sometimes architects are asked to play the role of a project management manager. I mean, but what the senior management doesn't realize, or sometimes they don't understand, is that tech leads and senior developers or architects, they do not want to play this role. They are a tech architect or a tech lead for a different reason. Okay, they're architects because they enjoy in that position architecting and, designing. Okay, and they don't, at times what happens is that they have to, balance between the different roles, and obviously, and because of this, then either they are not able to, like they're not able to, manage the project execution properly, and as a result of that, the project fails. Sometimes enough training is not, given, uh, or, so whoever is actually managing it, whether it would be a technical architect and all, they don't have that enough expertise, training, or experience. Sometimes, stakeholders, or, like senior stakeholders like vice presidents, directors, they think that anyone can manage a project. Okay, architect who has enough experience, they can do architecting also, they can do designing also, and they can also manage the project. In some places, it might be possible, like, but in most of the situations that I have seen, I mean, it is not possible. I mean, as a result of that, there is so much of load that is put on these resources that they are not able to deliver. So these are some of the reasons. Okay, so these are, I think, so this talks about requirement volatility. So as you know that, right, whenever you are starting a requirement, okay, at this point of time, your uh, your requirements, you're not clear about what the scope is, right? You do not know, like, so at this point of time is when you're doing project planning. The business is also doing their planning, and as and when your project initiates, okay, with time you are more and more certain that, what what is expected from this project. So these kind of requirement volatility is mostly there in agile projects, where you are running a agile scrum in which the customer is still not sure what the goal is, what the ambition is. They have got some brief plan as to what they have to do, but okay, but that frame of that frame or that picture is still not 100% clear. Okay, so maybe I'll just spend 2 minutes on the project management uh, triangle. So everything, like as a project manager, that you're, uh, so Ashay, just tell me that, like how much time is there? 1 hour, right? So I think so. I don't have time enough to go through all the slides because I do want to, go through some of the PMP questions that, come in the exams.
Sure. What we can
Yeah.
do
Okay.
is you can take up to 10 minutes more, and while people are there, can you guys just check the chat is working? Are you able to put in
Yeah,
your
yeah. What you
question?
can do, right? Maybe we can do, and I'll just go through it. Maybe I will not be able to complete the full presentation that I have, but I also do want to spend some time going through those, PMP set of questions that I have.
Sure, sure. We can
Yeah,
do
and
that. So
then we can
let
also,
me,
go
okay,
for
let
questions and
me,
queries. Yeah.
okay, one second.
So yeah, so this is what a project management triangle is. It is also called the iron triangle, or it is called the triple constraint triangle. So this is what a project manager has to deal with all the time. It is time, scope, and cost. So he always is. So from the starting to the end of your project execution, you will have to manage time, you will have to manage scope, you will have to manage costs. Scope is that whether whatever you're working on, is it in track? Okay, are there any change requests that are coming? Are you taking care of scope creep? Okay, are you ensuring that your project is not getting incremental scope again? And another thing is, second thing is time, and the third thing is cost. So whenever you get a so mostly everything comes with a kind of fixed cost, in which you get an SOW contract, in which it is said that this is a $1 million project, or this is a $5 million project, and we need to complete this within so the budget is already set for us, that it is $5 million. So most of the times, the whatever the client cost is, okay, we don't the from the client's point of view, they don't expect us to this increase. Yeah, so this is most of the time it is uh, fixed. But there are certain other projects also. Sometimes projects, they come with constant time, that suppose you have Olympics in 2016 or 2024, and there are projects, and you have to complete that project in 2024. So here your time is fixed. Okay, I mean, you cannot do anything with that. So when your cost is fixed, then the project manager can play around with time and scope. Okay. Okay. So if the client says that he wants to add more scope for the project, then at that point of time you can say that if you want to add more scope, then either your time or cost will increase. But when your cost is fixed, then you have to ensure that your scope is also fixed and your scope is not increasing. Okay. And if your time, so so again, it's a balance between scope, time, and cost. So you have to take care of all those things. If you don't maintain this balance, then this project management triangle, you can also call it a you can also mention quality here. So your if the proper balance of time, scope, and cost is not there, your quality will also get affected. So this is something that you should really understand. So these are some of the ways that the project is selected. So the These are the top two criterias as to what, like when you are in a portfolio, or when you're doing portfolio management or portfolio and program management, and you have a bunch of projects that are presented to you. Okay, so any project sponsor who will approve the project, they will always go through the net present value, and they will go through the internal rate of returns. So if these two terms, or if these two values are promising, so this is basically the selection criteria. Suppose your project sponsor, has to, ensure he needs to just select two projects out of a bunch of five projects that are, presented to him. And they will see that which project makes the most sense in terms of net present value and internal rate of return. What is the payback? So other things are also considered, but these two are the most important considerations that we have. So this is a bit of a net present value. So I don't want to get into detail right now. And these are the different life cycles that any. So this is the waterfall life cycle. So this is how the waterfall life cycle. So most of you are already aware of this. Okay, so we use waterfall life cycle when requirements are crystal clear. We know what the customer wants, and we know that the requirements will not change. It is something that we have done over and over again and again. It's a similar type of project that has again come. So everything is clear. The and we know. So you can in that way you can easily go with this approach. Okay, then you have iterative life cycles. Then you have incremental. So these are incremental. I don't want to go into depth because it consumes. Okay, so these days, we are mostly doing hybrid kind of projects. Like if in most of the industries, like and IT organizations, what like most of the organizations have found out that 100% agile will not help, or every project has a different nature. If especially if it is a big project, if it is a big project, there are certain things that we already know for certain that we have to deliver. So so if we are already sure, and we know, like, then there's having it, we can use the protective model in that. Okay, and where only where uncertainty is high and we are not very sure, then we go for agile, because the yeah, so most of the organizations that these days that people are going. So this is the type of project cycle that we are going through. So this is the guideline, like whatever project that you have to work on. Okay, so what is the SDLC model that you're going to adopt? So again, in terms of like again, if the degree of change is very less and the frequency of delivery is also quite less, and you know what you have to do, and you have you have an historical this of delivering this type of projects, then you can go for predictive. But wherever degree of changes increases and the frequency of delivery increases and your uncertainty also increases, then you generally try to uh, use the agile. So agile is both iterative and incremental, right? So one is predictive, the second is incremental, third is iterative. So agile, Scrum, Kanban, this and these type of projects, they are. So agile is very popular because it is both incremental also and it is both iterative also. So this is something about scope creep. So, so these are not. Let me see if there's some. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll just spend 2 minutes on conflict management. Yeah. So in any project that you do, okay, conflicts will come, and conflict is it is very natural, and a conflict management and conflicts are attributes of the project. It will have to come. Every people that comes within the organization or within the team, they wear their own thinking cap, and they will think from their own perspective, which they are entitled to do. Okay, so you as a project manager, it is very important for you to manage conflict. So conflict first of all is it's a good thing. You should have conflicts in your project because that will entertain discussions in which you will have different discussions, and from discussions comes different good ideas, and these good ideas help us to manage the team more appropriately. So conflict should always be welcome. It is natural. I mean, one should never shy away from conflict. Okay, so but you should, it is something that needs to be addressed. Okay, it happens within team when team members have different perspective. Okay, so whenever anyone is having conflict, so you should always try to tell the team that you should be open to hear everyone's perspective. Okay, and so if conflict occurs, then as a project manager, you need to ensure that that conflict is addressed quickly. If it is not addressed, and if it is allowed to carry on, and as a project manager, you're not doing anything about it, then that could lead to some negative consequences. So again, conflict is a good thing. I mean, it will happen, but you need to, manage the conflict and make sure that it is resulting in something. Maybe it is resulting in some outcomes like process improvement or process efficiencies, or different or ways of working should be slightly different, or maybe it helps in setting up ground rules, but it needs to be addressed. If it is not addressed, then people will get frustrated and it will have negative consequences. Okay, so this is again another slide on what kind of project you should choose. Okay, so whenever you any projects or any kind of SOW gets signed, or any kind of okay, projects. What is the working methodology that you have to adapt? So you just see in terms of requirements. Are the requirements like unclear, or whether they are clear? What is the technical degree of uncertainty? So if it is simple, if it is straightforward, then obviously linear approaches like predictive will work. But again, if it has a high level of requirement and uncertainty, and a high level of technical solutions to it, then if it is complex or complicated, then adaptive approaches. When I say adaptive approaches, it is like agile, Canva, or it is agile and kind of ways of working that will help. So this is again, I think so. This is project risks and uncertainty approaches. So again, so generally agile projects are risky in nature. Okay, and linear approaches, they have the least amount of risk, because it is like we already know like what we have to deliver. So the more so agile is, and whether it is safe agile or agile scrum. I mean, okay, it is generally this methodology is used for when requirements are unclear and projects are more risky, when you really do not know what you have to deliver. So this is the risk scorecard that you need to use. So this is extremely important in terms of identifying what the risks are. So risk has two attributes. One is probability or likelihood. The other is opportunity. Okay, or threats. Okay, so generally risk is associated with negative consequences, but risk can also have positive consequences. So a project manager who is managing risks should also keep in mind that there might be some new opportunities that may also come in the form of risks. So, and whatever risks that you are getting as a project manager, you should always quantify your risks. Only when you quantify your risks, you will be able to manage risks, or you will end up spending more time fixing the risks which have low probability or low impact. And so yeah, so the risk scorecard and how you categorize your risks in terms of probability and this threat. That is also very extremely important. So, so this is one of the most important, skill to have as a project manager. Risk management, and you have to be in top of this, like in terms of, so whatever risks that are coming, you should be very sure that how it is going to impact you in terms of cost, how it's going to impact you in terms of time, what is the impact in terms of quality, what is the impact in terms of scope. So you should always think, because your risk is going to affect all these attributes, or some of these attributes, by how much it is going to address. Okay, so this is another scale, that you should use, and obviously you should dedicate more time on those uh, issues where the cost impact is high or the time impact is high. So these are the typically most of the type of four types of risk responses. Okay, if you think the risk is very high, this size, so either transfer the risk by engaging with the vendor. Generally, this happens most of the time. Like if we think that this project is extremely risky, or this part of the project is extremely risky, um, and we transfer this project part of this to a third party vendor who takes care of this, who is specialized in handling such kind of issues, and so in that way the risk gets transferred. Or you can also have, if it's a risky project, then you can have some financial, and it's going to have some financial impact, and you can also get some insurance done for that particular risk. So that is another way to transfer your risk. Most of the times we will try to mitigate as project managers. We will always try to anticipate what those risks are, and we'll try to mitigate those risks so that the impact and the probability of those risks are decreased. So there's something like residual risks, and there's something like inherent risks. So again, okay, so very quickly, residual risks are those risks which, once you have done your risk mitigation and you have taken care of everything, and but still, in spite of taking care of everything, if there is still some risk that is not addressed, that is called residual risk. And inherent risk is that you know that a risk is there. There might be a scenario in which we'll have this risk, but you have not done anything to mitigate this risk. Then it becomes a kind of inherent risk. So, as project managers, cost matrices are also very important, and cost management is also very important. And especially when you are internally presenting the health of your project, so you have, in terms of cost and in terms of budget, how you're how you're actually uh, delivering it. So you need to be on top of that. So again, these are some of the things that you have to manage from a cost point of view. You should know some of these matrices. In fact, all these matrices are extremely important, especially your cost variance, schedule variance, earned value, cost performance index, schedule performance index. These are extremely important, and your senior stakeholders and all, they will always ask you about this figure. So you should have something called like cost baseline, schedule baseline, scope baseline, and you have to, in your presentations and matrices, very articulately explain like how your project is doing in terms of cost variance, schedule variance, earned variance, and okay, and these are like used initially, like net present value and all. These are just for these are not used. These are just initial users, and total cost of ownership matrices you will do when you're basically doing some kind of digital transformation project. Like initially, in terms of, especially when you're working with a digital transformation for a client, in which you have to see what is the total cost of ownership initially before you did the project. And once you have executed the project, so what is the total cost of ownership? So one of the main reasons why we go for digital transformation projects, or 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 we do kind of migration project when we migrate from one platform to the other, is because the total cost of ownership is extremely high, and they want to reduce it at least by 50% or 40 to 50%. Okay, so these are some of the financial matrices.
So I
So this
think
is again
we are
agile,
uh, we will
this is
just
lean. So these are, yeah. So
so
almost done. Just another 1 or 2 minutes.
yeah. I'm just telling, yes, you can take up 5 more minutes, but I'm just requesting people to you have unmuted. You can also put on the chat questions. We have a comment from Mohammed. He's telling the risk management and financial metrics section is very interesting, and encourage people to at
Okay.
least
Okay.
ask two
Yeah.
questions to
Yeah.
Afaq.
And I'll just address those. I'll just quickly. I'm almost towards the end.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the agile this mindset, as most of you, or some of you must be knowing that now 80% of the projects that we are working on, it is agile. So if you are a project manager, you have to wear multiple caps. Either you have to be a project manager with and a scrum master, or a project manager with a safe agilist, as you call it, or you need to be a RT, okay, or you can also be an agile coach. So project management in terms is that so since 80 to 85% of the projects are now these days executed in agile. So so these are very important skills also that is required in terms of like like what are the different agile values, what are the principles, practices, what are the different SDLCs that are used within agile. As you can see, there's so many other things, like even in agile scrum, I think so still is the most popular, but there are others as well, like scrum dan is getting more popular these days. FTDD is also quite popular. Kanban is also, I mean, it is generally used these days. And this is just typically how the entire, if you talk about safe agile, this is our dashboard for safe agile, where the entire, most of the stakeholders or the senior leadership also, they are, involved in this, and the entire enterprise is involved. So they start with pool of ideas, and those pool of ideas, they take the shape of concepts, and those concepts gets translated into streams of different concepts, and they become uh, epics. And then from epics you start deriving what are the features that you want to incorporate in your products, and again what are the features that get selected. And once the features are getting selected, wow, okay, okay, suppose yeah, so these are the the epics, they get broken down to user stories. And then your user stories starts so user stories gets identified, then your user story grooming happens, and then your user stories are ready. So if you see right from here to here, most of the work is being done by product owners and business analysts. So most of the times, people get asked like, what does a product owner do? Like, but or what does a business analyst do? And their work is extremely vital, because if you see right from here, from the left to all the way up to here, I mean, the the business team and the leadership, the business team, the product owners, they are engaged. And this is where the developers, they step in and they start working in those user stories. And when they have done it, and when they have delivered it, and when the feature is accepted, and when the feature is delivered. Okay, so this is a typical Kanban board that everyone goes through. Even in Scrum, we use this Kanban boards. to this is the one that we do with Jira. Okay. So just to very quickly, so these are the top project management tools that we are using. Monday is also there. Monday is also now getting popular. It is not here. So MS Project, Jira, Rike, Asana. So Jira is now becoming the top most preferred project management tool. I think so more people are using Jira as compared to MS Project as well. Okay, so now MS Project is generally used for predictive type of projects in which you have a predictive this, or maybe for short term projects, or maybe for fixed price projects where managing your day to day activities is extremely critical. And if you have a fixed project of say $100,000 or maybe less than $500,000, you will generally go for a fixed price. And if it's a fixed price, then you will have to, it is very important for you to track those activities every day. And then you may, typically use the hybrid approach, and you may want to track your, project activities in terms of MS project, where day to day tracking is extremely important. Jira and all is definitely like if you're going to do agile scrum or agile or a Kanban, you will definitely use this Jira dashboard in which you don't have to minutely track MS project. But even in Jira projects, whenever you make this what do you call high level roadmap, or you make a kind of or you make the high level project plan. So that high level project plan is also mostly what the clients expect is that you put that in an MS project and deliver and send it to the clients, so that they are aware from a higher this delivery point perspective, how does the project or what is the project roadmap basically. So Jira and MS projects are the top most project management tools that are still getting used. Other tools are also becoming popular, and but still these two are 80% of the projects use either Jira or MS project. So I have extensively used both these frameworks, Jira and MS project. I have more than 10 years of experience in both these uh, tools. So
Yes.
these are some prerequisites for your project for your PMP exam anyway. Uh, so if anyone is interested in giving this PMP, so these are some of your eligibility criteria. You need to have 35 PDU points. You need to show some amount of experience that you have worked as a project manager. And then obviously you have to pay the fees and take the exam. And so obviously, I mean, you guys must be knowing the benefits of PMP certification. I mean, in any of the project managers that is being hired, one of the first questions they will ask you is, whether you are PMP certified. Okay, so so these are some of the preparation tips. So and so you need to study the PMBOK guide thoroughly. It is extremely important. Uh, and you should take some mock exams at least a couple of times just to see where you are. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Any questions? I think
Let me quickly go through the questions.
someone is asking, can you put the slide where your contact details are there? Someone is
I'm
asking.
sorry,
Yes,
Arshad, can you be a bit louder?
can you put the slide where your number is there? People are asking for your contact details.
Okay, fine,
Last
fine.
slide.
Yes, yes. So you guys can just note this number, and yeah, or you can reach out to me, or you can contact Arshad. I mean, and he will tell you the email ID, or you can just note it down.
Yeah, I will put on the chat. I'll put on the chat as well. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can just put it on the chat, or let me see if I can put it on the chat.
No, it's okay.
I'll put it on the.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, okay, I have done it. So, guys, you can unmute yourself and ask questions. We can take couple of questions. There were actually no questions. Afaq Ahmed, there were some comments. Like Leo mentioned that he is using, he likes Basecamp, there was comment that they like the section of risk management and financial metrics. So, but till now there is no question. But if you guys have any question, you can put it on the chat. You can get in touch with Afaq Ahmed, or you can get in touch
Risk
with me.
management and financial. Yeah, yeah, Excel sheets is another thing that I agree. You need to have Excel sheet knowledge. That is also a good amount of time that you will spending your time making, pivot charts and good dashboards.
There is a question from Leo. How long does it take if you to get accredited PMP?
Yeah, so again, you will have to have some amount of project management experience, at least maybe 3 years to 5 years you have to show. And you have to get 35 PDU points. So these trainings you can, you can take these trainings either you can do some online courses of project management where you can get this 35. So basically, you need to get 35 PDU points. So you can either you can enroll in 2 days workshop. Okay, and where you can get yourself trained, and basically each one PDU is equivalent to 1 hour. So basically you need 35 hours of kind of training. So it could be in three sessions, or it could be in 4 sessions. So and that you have to showcase. So all those things you have to enter when you are actually enrolling for your PMP exam. So PMP questions are not that tricky once you get the flavor of it. Basically, your PMP questions are formatted in such a way like there's a difference. Like when I did my PMP certification in 2012, and when I have gone through the PM Box 7, the latest edition of this uh, this PMP certification, is now things have changed. Now it is more principle oriented. Earlier it was more process oriented, in which you had 43 project management processes, and you needed to really understand what those project management processes are. But now what I've seen is that it is more principle oriented, and it is more action oriented. So so when you're going through those PMBOK questions, just go through those options. You will get always you have to complete, I think so, 200 questions, and you will be given, I think so, 4 hours. Okay, in which you have to complete those 200 questions. But those questions are mostly, it is which question, in which, like, the answer will be usually that part where there is more action oriented things that comes in. Okay, where there is action required. And that is in not all the cases, but 60 to 70% of the answers are in terms of action oriented, where a project manager is required to take action. So I didn't have much time. I had a bunch of 15 to 12 questions with me. I think so, but we are out of time. So if yeah, so maybe I can discuss those questions with you in a different session. Maybe I can go through 20-25 questions and we can discuss it. So once you go through those questions, it will give you some understanding as to what type of questions that come for in the PMP exams, and you will get some flavor and idea as to what has to be done. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I have already provided my this. Feel free to connect with me individually and 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 I can like if anyone wants take my advice and guidance or mentorship, I'll be very happy to assist people in their journey in getting the PMP certification. And also anyone who's interested in Agile Scrum and in CSM certification or even in safe certifications, they can also feel free to contact me and I can also help them. Yeah, so that over to you, Arshad. Yeah, so I'm done from my part.
Yes, so I know there are some couple of questions are there, like Ashik was asking, and we can regarding the free tools. If you can just did you
Tools.
answer that one as well in MS?
Uh, wait, free tools. So free tools, like, if you want to get a flavor of these tools, Enterprise Zero and all, they are free to some extent. I don't know, like, you can, use it for 1 month, it is free. Even for, I think so, MS Project also, sometime back, they were offering that, you can use MS Project for 1 month. 1 month free trial is there. So most of these projects tools are free for at least for a month or so. Maybe Fizira is, I think so, it's 1 or couple of months. So you can always download it and have a free trial version and use it, for one. Uh, and Yeah, and if you want to, get in expertise in these tools, whether it is MS Project or Enterprise Zero, then you can always, if you want, you can get in touch with me and I can actually help you in going through the different modules, attributes, features of these tools and get you up to scale in using these tools proficiently.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your time come today. And I'm sure from the community there will be some interest. We can do a follow-up session. I know you had to put a lot of details in 1 hour of the slide. But surely we can next year or maybe next in the coming weeks, we can have one more detailed session wherein we are talking a little bit more about one specific area. And thank you for your time in your busy schedule to take some time for the community and share your expert knowledge. And if there is any questions, they can directly reach out to Afaq Ahmed. He has shared his contacts. And someone is asking, Arshad, can you send the support also? When you meet Arshad, you can send the support also. What do you mean by support also? If you can just type, but I will share the contact details as well. You can always reach out directly to Afaq Ahmed and on WhatsApp, or you can, and we are surely arrange one more session and according to the interest. Okay, he's asking, Muhammad is asking the PowerPoint presentation. Will
Yeah,
you
yeah,
be
I'll share it to you, Arshad. You can share it to the group, and it's not a problem. And in the next session, if the group wants, we can go through maybe 15 questions of for PM Bob. What comes in the exams, and we can go through it so that you guys can at least get an idea as to uh, what we have.
sure? Thank you, thank you. We'll be sharing it separately. And thank you everyone for joining the call and see you all in the next workshop. Have a great day ahead. Thank you personally, Afaq Ahmed, for your valuable time. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Yeah, pleasure talking to you all. Bye.
Thank you so much.